All hell is breaking loose in the city of Los Angeles, California. Illegal immigrants, as well as those in California that vote deep blue, are burning buildings, burning cars, throwing rocks through policemen's windshields. It is getting really bad. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris says this is the most peaceful protest she's ever seen. Gavin Newsom tells Donald Trump, if you're so disappointed and I'm so guilty, why don't you arrest me? President Trump tells Tom Homan, the borders are, it's time to arrest Gavin Newsom of California. I'm going to be going through all of this and much more. Thank you guys so much for liking and sharing these videos. Let's jump right in. Over the weekend, Los Angeles erupted into a flashpoint of civil unrest as anti-ICE protesters shut down the 101 freeway, blocking traffic in both directions. The demonstration, triggered by heightened federal immigration raids targeting undocumented illegal immigrants, drew hundreds of protesters, some waving foreign flags, screaming at police, screaming at the FBI, screaming at the National Guard and the police. President Trump ordered the National Guard to go in and to be helpful. What happened? Molotov cocktails, Waymo self-driving cars burned to ashes, fighting, gunshots, knives, robberies of all kinds. The people are so upset, they're robbing Nike and TV stores. It's absolutely out of control. Now, protesters erected makeshift barricades, launched rocks, fireworks, Molotov cocktails, turning the protest violent. Meanwhile, the vice president and the governor saying this is all out of control because of Trump. Now, law enforcement reported over 100 arrests, 44 immigration enforcement operations underway, and dozens of people arrested and in detention. It's really, really bad. And now they're saying that Antifa is showing up. And in fact, there's now a Democrat-led attack plan coming out in San Francisco. The plan later this week is to attack the ICE department in the city of San Francisco. Thousands and thousands of people are descending on California in order to block the removal of illegal immigrants. Now, in response, President Trump took to Truth Social, denouncing the protests as violent insurrectionists as they attack federal agents and declaring Los Angeles invaded and occupied by illegal aliens and criminals. Some are saying that he is about to throw down martial law or invoke the Insurrection Act. As I mentioned, he's already deployed 2,000 National Guard, and there are over 500 Marines ready to go as soon as he signs an order. Now, Pete Hegseth said that the U.S. military would be happy to step in. On the left, they're saying, really? You're about to turn the military against our own people? It all looks really, really bad. If you haven't seen the video footage, I'll be putting it throughout this entire video. Now, Trump also instructed Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, Pete Hegseth, and Pam Bondi of the Attorney General's office to coordinate with local agencies in order to bring order and also to make sure that people pay for the damage that they have done. Now, there's a $50,000 reward for one person who was throwing rocks through the windshield of driving police, driving FBI, driving ICE. Laura Loomer was able to identify the main culprit through a softball jersey that he was wearing. Now, his executive order, which federalized California's National Guard without state approval, mirrors historic intervention by President Dwight Eisenhower in 1957. Gavin Newsom, the governor, quickly condemned this as illegal, immoral, and unconstitutional, that President Trump is interfering with peaceful protests, First Amendment rights, and California's right to govern however they want. However, Trump knows that the summer of love, where Black Lives Matter and Antifa ganged up together in order to destroy billions of dollars of businesses and buildings, he's not going to let that happen again. Now, Gavin Newsom even dared ICE Director Tom Homan and President Trump, come and arrest me. Do it. Get it over with. Arrest me right now. California's legal challenge cites lack of state consent and potential constitutional violations. Now, the ACLU, who fights for illegals more than Americans, is stepping in to sue President Trump, saying this is overreach of government and blocks people's freedom of speech. You kind of lose freedom of speech when you burn cars and throw rocks through people's windshields, but what do I know? So Tom Homan said, every single one of them, no matter what it takes, however long it takes, we will identify you. We will hunt you down. You will be found. Now, stoking further outrage, the president of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, gave a speech yesterday where she called for an uprising of Mexican citizens in the United States, citing that now is the time to push back, to rise up. Now, she's saying that this is over taxation, something where if you earn money in America before it goes back to Mexico, it has to be taxed, right? Anytime you earn in America, you get taxed. Well, now she is calling for an uprising. President Trump is furious. Heads of the military are furious. Governors are now slapping Mexico with higher taxation, saying, no, Mexico, you don't tell the United States of America what to do. So Mexico is calling for a coordinated uprising of illegals and legal Mexican Americans to fight back against Trump, ICE, and these new policies. However, President Trump has called for Gavin Newsom to be arrested. Tom Homan said he is very serious and considering the arrest of Gavin Newsom and Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, who is also fighting for these illegal immigrants. Now, I have a lot more to share with you. This is really crazy stuff, right? I want to help you guys be calm, get a good night's sleep. Let me tell you about our sponsor. Did you know that over 50 million Americans struggle with chronic sleep issues? I used to be one of them. Tossing and turning, waking up groggy. I hated it. Then I found Dream by Beam, and it changed everything. This luxurious, all-natural sleep beverage blends powerful ingredients like reishi, melatonin, magnesium, L-theanine, and apigen to ease you into restful sleep. It's only 15 to 20 calories. Since using Dream, I fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up refreshed. No more restless nights. Plus, 97% of users report a better nighttime routine, and I'm proof of that. I mix a scoop of hot water or milk 30 to 60 minutes before bed. It's like a cozy hot chocolate that helps me fall asleep and stay asleep. It's improved my focus and energy, making morning and my workday so much better. Want better sleep? Try Dream by Beam. Visit shopbeam.com/Steven35 for up to 35% off. Trust me, your sleep deserves this. Sweet dreams. Okay, now, President Trump was impeached for asking people to peacefully march to the Capitol to make their voices heard. Meanwhile, Congresswoman Maxine Waters is calling for violence, to get in people's faces, to do whatever it takes, to get crazy, to get wild, and above all else, resist, resist, resist. Let me show you this video of her.
I came down here to the detention center to see if I can find out what is happening with David Werta. He is one of our leaders in organized labor, head of a local SEIU union. I don't know why they picked him up. I don't know what they're going to do to him. I don't want them to deport him. I think that he is being targeted, but our city is being targeted because we're a sanctuary city. Trump hates us. He does not like this city. He's trying to intimidate, and he sent the guns in here on us. The governor didn't know anything about the National Guard coming here. He did it on his own. We can't be intimidated. We've got to get the people out. We've got to get the elected officials out. We've got to resist him. I'm going back out into the communities where ICE was last night to make sure people know that their elected officials are standing with them. Thank you.
What's your next step now?
I'm going out to Lenox and to Paramount, Watts, and South Central, where they were last night, to see if ICE is back out there.
How about a message for the community?
The community is, don't be intimidated. Don't be afraid. Do what we did in the civil rights movement. Protest peacefully. Get out. Make your voices heard. The more people we're able to engage, the more we can push back on them. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And even former Vice President Kamala Harris is absolutely lying through her teeth. She is saying, hey, this protest is overwhelmingly peaceful. Yes, it does. It does look overwhelmingly peaceful. Look at that completely burned to the ground car, donuts with another burning car, Mexican gang signs, smoke everywhere, Mexican flags, Palestinian flags, all these flags from other countries as everything burns to the ground. But then you have Vice President Kamala Harris saying, Los Angeles is my home. And like so many Americans, I am appalled at what we are witnessing on the streets of our city. Deploying the National Guard is a dangerous escalation meant to provoke chaos. It's meant to provoke chaos. It's meant to shut it down. Okay. Anyway, let me keep going. In addition to the recent ICE raid in Southern California and across our nation, it is part of the Trump administration's cruel, calculated agenda to spread panic and division. She goes on to say the administration's actions are not about public safety. They're about stoking fear. Are you kidding me, this lady? Oh my gosh. Okay. Fear of a community demanding dignity and due process. Protest is a powerful tool. Yeah, we're seeing that. Essential in the fight for justice. And as the LAPD mayor and governor have noted, demonstration in defense of our immigrant neighbors have been overwhelmingly peaceful. I continue to support the millions of Americans who are standing up to protect our most fundamental rights and freedoms. So she thinks burning LA to the ground, hurting ICE agents, FBI agents, police, destroying hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars of cars, buildings, all of that is standing up to Trump. Standing up for illegal immigrants who should not be here. That's the American way? It's not. These people are crazy and they lie right to your face so that they can continue to do evil. Now, imagine, if you will, what if Kamala Harris had won and become the 47th president of the United States? Imagine if she had all the power and authority of the president. There would have been twice as many people flooding the border. She would have gotten rid of the rule of law. Chaos would be the new form of justice. I mean, it terrifies me. All right. Meanwhile, tension between Trump and Elon Musk seems to be cooling. Thank goodness. I've been reading on both sides. They're telling Elon, you need to apologize, denounce the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, and ask to be Trump's friend again. On the Trump side, they're saying, if he apologizes, accept it, be honest. Hey, we might not be able to work together, but we can work for the benefit of the American people and move forward. Now, Musk deleted all of the posts that were negative about Trump. This is a good first move. The post was part of a string of attacks following Musk's criticism of Trump's massive spending bill. It went from, what are we doing and spending too much, to Donald Trump is connected to the crimes of Jeffrey Epstein. Now, I showed you guys in other videos, there is not a connection to the crime. Yes, they ran in similar circles because they were both billionaires, and the richer you get, the less friends you have. But as J.D. Vance said, there was nothing incriminating, and if there was, it would have already come out. Now, this was a huge mistake that I believe Elon Musk can apologize for and move forward. I don't know that they'll ever be as close as they were. Then again, Trump is a pretty forgiving person, but it's got to be a genuine apology. Switching to international news, climate activist Greta Thunberg claims that she has been kidnapped by the government of Israel. Here's what really happened. She was on a flotilla to bring attention to the people of Palestine. She got detained, which is the protocol, and she said that she was harassed. They were making her life really difficult. However, there's pictures of the Israeli Defense Force giving her a drink and a sandwich. So the whole thing was a giant lie. Also, Israel published that this was a media stunt, and they were able to prove that over 1,200 trucks with aid, food, and water had entered Gaza in the past 2 weeks. I guess it had been going around that Israel was doing nothing. Now, I hate covering this story. As you know, I don't cover it very much. I think Israel has the right to defend itself. I also hate the way that they've defended themselves. Too many women and children have died. However, this was a media stunt that went wrong. Over in Ukraine, President Volodymyr Zelensky pushed back on Donald Trump's view of Vladimir Putin during a CNN interview, warning that the Russian leader will never stop. Zelensky said Trump underestimates Putin's aggression and emphasizes that unlike U.S. forces, Ukraine is actively fighting the Russian military. He stressed the need for continued financial aid from taxpayers in America, or else we will end up in a bigger conflict. Over in Russia, Russian President Vladimir Putin warned Europe this war needs to end. And when it comes to U.S.-Russia relations, Senator Rand Paul is sharply criticizing a new bill spearheaded by Senator Lindsey Graham, trying to get even more money over to Ukraine. He said that this is reckless economic warfare. Now, Rand Paul is one of the few calling Lindsey Graham out. 80 other senators support giving even more of your hard-earned taxpayer money to Ukraine. 80 of them now want Donald Trump to put a 500% tariff on Russian oil and gas and give even more money to Ukraine. Now, I really hope President Trump doesn't do this. This war could have been over. Guess what? Ukraine, you guys did the spiderweb attack where you destroyed $7 billion worth of Air Force equipment after telling Trump you wanted peace. Then you said that was to get peace. Then you bombed their bridge from Russia to Crimea. So you got to quit blowing stuff up and then saying, we don't know why they're killing so many people. We don't know why. They just did one of the largest missile attacks in the entire war. Now, Lindsey Graham and others say Putin will never stop, that Donald Trump, in order to stay president and have the approval of Congress, must see eye to eye with Lindsey Graham and sanction Russia and send more of our hard-earned taxpayer money to Ukraine. Let me know what you guys think about this. I am against it. I'm also against these horrible, horrible riots out in LA. I hope this whole thing can get under control. Anyway, big news. I love you guys. If you could, give this video a like, stay amazing, hit that subscribe button, and we will see you on the next video.